Good morning, well, good afternoon everybody. You are witnessing a very rare event, and that is Steve Booton throwing to a pointer. Shock and awe. It's always good to keep up your skills. When I first started, quite a few years ago, I threw to a pointer. It's just a paintbrush stuck in a lump of clay. You can buy mechanical ones. Alex Shumwell sells one actually. I'll put the link in. It's a very good one if you want to throw to a pointer. I like the inconsistency of shapes. I don't normally weigh my clay. I know roughly how much a piece of clay comes out of my pug mill, a length of clay where I store it. 1.2 kilos, so I know that half is 600 grams, and a quarter is 300, etc. So I just break lumps off. This is half a rib, so this rib's half a bat. These are ramen noodle bowls. I used to find, and still do find, production throwing mind-numbingly boring. Although I do think it is a very good skill to have. So even though I don't like, or I prefer not to production throw and like one-off pieces, doesn't mean that I've not got the skills for it. It's just that I choose not to. I think it's important to learn every skill you can. Mould making, throwing. I've got two friends who are very successful slip casters and hand builders, who are coming in the next month or so to have some lessons for throwing, because it's important skill to use, and it's useful even if you hand build. There's one friend, I'll not mention her name, wants a form to hand build into. It's like a wide dish. And she's asked me if I'll make them, and I said, yeah, I can make them, it's not a problem. It's just, why don't you make them yourself? Cut me out, cut the middleman out. She used to pay someone to do it, and I'll do it for free, don't bother me, I'll help anybody out. But yeah, so she's coming to learn how to throw, and then she'll be able to do her own formers, and then takes the pressure off finding someone to do them, and you're not beholden to anybody. I think if you can control the whole process yourself, from mixing the clay to throwing and making and firing, it's terrific. It's very sort of useful to the design process if you know all the aspects. I'll just move this out your way. 1 second. I've got a rack here to my left, but it's full, so I have to put them in the rest of the other part of the studio. Right, back to it. So it's important to learn. It's important to learn all the skills. Every potter, I think. I try not to make dogmatic statements, but I think every potter should know how to throw a basic cylinder because it's so useful. I mean, I made some birds the other day. You might have seen them. Some small birds, and I've tried to hand build them, and I was at it for about half an hour, and I couldn't get the hand building right. So I thought, why don't you just throw it? So I threw the basic sort of pear shape for the bird in about a minute and a half, and then I just moulded it afterwards. So if I didn't have the skill of throwing, then I'd have been at it for hours making these birds, but I can do a dozen of them in half an hour. And job's a good one, as they say in Yorkshire. The good thing about production throwing and throwing to a pointer is when you come to stack pots in the kiln, you can stack them rim to rim. These will have measured foot rings as well, so they'll be all universal size foot rings. And that's that. So we'll just do you one more. Now I'm going to swing a bit. Last batch of this clay. One more. Let's go through the technique. Obviously centre it. Cone it up. Fold it down. Press down to the centre, leaving. I always try and leave more than I think I need at the bottom because there's a tendency to go a bit thin in the bottom with pots. So I always leave what I think is more than I need, and it usually is exactly what I need. It's one of my faults. I then pull it up almost vertical, almost in a straight line to the pointer. Pull it straight to the pointer, like that. The pointer's a brush. I used to use a cocktail long sort of skewer. But if you go a bit too wide, it digs into it, whereas this brush, it just pushes the brush out of the way. So, okay, so it's up out to the pointer, and then using the rib, press into the centre, so you get a nice curve at the bottom. And you just press it out, keeping an arm out. I'm watching there, keeping an eye on the pointer. That's it, a nice smooth bottomed ramen bowl. Use the webbing on my finger because I've lost my bit of chamois leather. It's in a bucket of slip somewhere, so I'll discover that when it goes through the pug mill probably. Using the webbing on my finger just to round the edge off. Undercut it. Find your wire. Lift it off. Job's a good one.